Okay, let's get started. Who wants to go first? Rock, paper, scissors? Or do you guys want to go first?
I raised my hand.
Okay, you want to go first. Let's go. Importance of compassion. Tell me your take about that.
The important. The importance of compassion is basically compassion is being kind to one another, but not expecting anything back. It helps you feel good about yourself and helps the other person you're being compassionate to also feel good about themselves. It's a really really good trait inside of you, and it helps you feel confident. What?
I agree with Karma. Also, like let's say do something compassionate to someone, we would both feel happiness. And
I think the importance of compassion is that without it, the world would be in chaos and not the world we know today.
Okay, now let's hear from. I'm sorry, Songsen. Yeah. Who wants to go first?
goes first. Okay.
Compassion is really important because we are social animals and we need each other to live.
I think compassion is really important because we are interdependent animals, and if our parents are compassionate to us, and that's how we live, and without compassion, our parents wouldn't supply us with the food that we need.
I think compassion is important because compassion usually helps you get friends, and friends make you happy. Otherwise, the entire life you'll just be depressed and not compassionate.
Do you want to move on, or do you have any questions? Oh, Karma, let's go.
Question, but can I add one little thing?
Oh yeah, sure.
Gonna say it's gonna be kind of short, but 그래 compassion 때 키보드 걔랑 난라 키보드 자기 네.
Okay, that's good. Do you guys want to say anything?
compassion 완전히 잘 약보 열에 가시네. compassion 지도 와라. 먼저 배 약보 미시 compassion 지도 와라. 먼저 grateful chair. kun kyo lagay 먼저 improve chair. 냠도 kyo satisfied chair.
Compassion brings benefit to both you and others because some people are weird and think it makes them happy when other people are happy, and when other people are happy, happy is a good emotion, and being mad and sad are bad for your health. Many people benefit from compassion, and they feel good and want to help other people. And doing this, they'll feel mentally healthy.
I think compassion brings benefit to both you and others because it gives you the satisfaction of being kind and nice to someone, while the other person feels good because they're being treated nicely.
Okay, I want to ask Songsen, what's an example of compassion bringing benefit to both you and others?
Compassion brings, an example is, let's say there's a poor man and he's on the streets begging, and if you give him $100 or 20 or anything, he'll feel really good, and you'll also feel satisfied about yourself because you did something nice and you feel good about yourself.
What about you, Yanti? Want to give an example?
Can I say something back to him?
Sure.
Well, yeah, you will definitely feel good that you gave $100 back to the homeless person. But wouldn't your parents be mad? Cause like, what if it's their money? It's like $100 is a lot, and you just gave it to a person and you don't even know. You said 100.
I said or anything.
Yeah, or anything. Yeah. Like what? It's a lot of money.
Dixo. Okay, let's move on. Okay. Compassion as an inner quality. Let's go. Yanti, you go first.
So compassion is an inner quality. So it's being compassionate is a very good trait because it's in you and it's when you do something good inside of you, it makes you feel good and both the other person. Compassion, yeah, it's a good trait to have. I completely agree with Karma, and it just brings you like happiness and makes you feel good about yourself too.
I think compassion is an inner quality because you have to genuinely feel it from within your heart.
I think compassion is feeling sympathetic and understanding other people's sorrow.
So the question is the inner quality one, right?
Yes.
I think compassion is an inner quality because it's like you can't just be compassionate one time and then say you're like really compassionate. You have to keep on doing it, and that makes it an inner quality and makes it like your character trait.
I think compassion is an inner quality because usually most of the time people can't see if you're really a good person or not because you could look as ugly as a rat but still be really nice. I'm not doing specifics.
That's it.
Okay. Do you guys have any questions for each other? Or no? Should we move on?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on then. Relation between compassion and happiness. Let's hear from Songsen first.
Yeah,
You go first.
There's like a huge relationship between compassion and happiness because if you're compassionate to someone, you'll feel happy when you go home, and then you'll feel good about yourself, and the person you're compassionate to will also feel happy because they gained something and they'll do it to someone else.
They're both positive things and they can spread like a chain reaction.
They have a relationship because they're both good, and it's more like happiness is an effect and compassion is a cause.
Like Hardy just said, so I think the relation between compassion and happiness is that compassion, yes, like Lucha said earlier, they're both like good things to do, but also being compassionate towards others is like a cause, and then the result of that is happiness. Kind of like Karma said, compassion is like you can make other people also happy, and happiness is like mainly just you most of the time.
I think the relation between compassion and happiness is compassion is when you be like kind or nice to someone, and happiness is when you feel like happy.
Okay. Do you guys think there's any differences between compassion and happiness? Like, is there something different, not like same, like relations? 가래비 만져봐줘요.
Compassion to happiness 먼저 안녕도 요 말을 가시네. Compassion 그런 약보 주어래. And happiness compassion 미션다 주어래. Happiness 그런 거 주어래. 그런 happy 주어래. Compassion mission la compassion share.
Do you guys want to do one, or should we move on?
I think he wants to say.
What's the difference between compassion and happiness?
Well, I kind of said it before earlier, but so basically, compassion is happiness is the result of compassion. Because when you're being compassionate towards others, you get that person gets happy because you're being kind. So yeah.
Okay. Do you have any questions? I remember Wong Chick saying something about chain reaction. Sorry, chain. You said something like a chain of happiness. I remember you said something like that. Can you add more to that? I really liked that one.
There's a video and people laughed at it and like they get the video. Other people also laugh at it too.
Okay, compassion and interdependence. This time, Yatri will go first.
So compassion and interdependence is basically like the same thing, except there's one difference. When you're being compassionate towards someone, you don't expect anything back. Like you just expect happiness for that person and for yourself. But interdependence is like the same thing, except when you're being kind to that person, you're expecting something back from them. Yeah.
I agree with Karma. I don't think I have anything to add on to that.
Compassion is when you're like nice or kind to someone, and interdependence is when you like depend on each other.
Compassion and interdependence, I think, are really linked together closely because if you're compassionate, that kind of makes you interdependent because you're doing something nice and then they need that thing that you gave to them because you were compassionate to them, and that makes them interdependent because you depend on each other, and then that'll keep happening, and that's interdependence.
They both like help the person's need or want, and they both depend on each other.
Interdependence is more like relying on people, and compassion is pure generosity.
Oh, Pema, you have a question?
Karma, when you say interdependence, right? You said being nice to others and you expect something back. But why do you think that? I think like interdependence as you help someone to survive and you rely on someone else to survive. So it's not about something what you want. It's kind of something what you need. So could you explain more, please?
Well, basically, like you just said, after you do something towards someone, then you expect them to like help you.
No.
Well, well, basically, interdependence, like pretend after you do something for that person, and then then you should depend on that person. Is that what you're saying?
Okay, so like, let's say there are two homeless people, right?
Okay.
And then one person helps out, one of the homeless person helps out by giving the other homeless person food, right? That's pure compassion. Interdependence is like, oh, I give this homeless person food, and when I'm in need, he might help me, and I might help me survive with food and stuff. So technically, it's like you're not expecting something. Like you're kind of expecting him to help you when you're in need. Like not when you like.
Yeah, but you still said expected. Like,
Yeah, but
so you're
it's during a
Let's
need.
end this, please. Okay, moving on. Okay, I'll make a situation, and I want each of everyone to give me an answer. Okay, it's kind of similar to what Pema said, a situation. Okay, if a young boy gave a homeless man a glass of water and food, and the man was incredibly grateful for him, but the boy later, years go by, and the boy slowly grows resentful of the man because the man didn't give him anything in return but his thanks. Do you think this was an act of compassion or not? Who wants to go first?
It's basically an act of interdependence and not compassion, because after
the boy gave the thing to the old man, he resents the old man because he didn't do anything like that back in return to the boy.
He kind of got a little mad that the guy didn't do anything other than thank him and stuff. So that's not really compassion, because compassion is you shouldn't expect anything back and just do stuff for other people, and it makes you happy.
I think that wasn't compassion because the boy showed compassion with expecting something back, which made him kind of mad.
I do not think that was an act of compassion because the boy, at first it was compassionate because the boy was giving the man something, but then it turned into just an act of kindness because he grew resentful and wanted something back. So then now it's not an act of compassion anymore because he wanted something back.
I don't think that's compassion because, when you gave the man the water, you think he'll give something back, but he's homeless, so he can't give anything back.
Definitely not an act of compassion because the boy was being greedy because he expected something back. That's definitely not compassion.
Do you guys think that we should use compassion every day? If so, why?
I say yes because when you're being compassionate, it's a really joyful thing to to do and for the other person that you're being compassionate to experience. Because when you're being compassionate to that person will feel really good and probably I forgot who said this, but I think something about a chain reaction. When you're kind to that person, maybe that person will be kind to another person in the future.
I also think that you should use compassion every day because if you're just expecting things back, you might not fulfill what you want every day, and then you might think you don't have enough, and you might be sad a lot and not be happy. But when you're compassionate, you're happy because you're helping other people, and other people around you are happy too.
I think we should practice compassion every day because the world will benefit from that because right now people are polluting lakes and oceans and stuff.
We should practice compassion every day. Otherwise, everybody would either be mad and sad. And I already said it's not healthy to be mad or sad. It's bad for your brain and it hurts other people's feelings.
I think we should be compassionate every day because if you just be compassionate once and just leave it at that, it just becomes a one-time thing and it doesn't really make you compassionate. That's why it says compassion as an inner quality means you do it every day. It's a daily thing for you and it makes you a compassionate person.
If everybody's sad and you do compassion, one person will be compassionate to the other because they feel good.
Okay, I want to give another situation. Let's say there's two palas. Both kids are aiming to become the highest martial artists. So they both want to become very high and good at karate. One father pushes their son saying, "Oh, if kenan chigimare, then kenan tokimare." He says, "Oh, if you don't do this, you're not going to win any good work. You better work your butt off." And so then the kid is always crying or sad. But then if the other father saying, "Oh, it's okay," and lets him slack off, do you think one of these fathers showed compassion or no?
No.
I think the second father definitely showed more compassionate to his son, more compassion to his son, because instead of like stressing him out and forcing him that like his son has to be better, he was calm, patient, and gentle with him, which definitely probably gave the son more hope in getting better at crime.
Can you repeat what the second father?
Second father? Oh, he was a lot more lenient, but then he let his son slack off a bit.
I don't think either one really showed compassion because the first one was kind of like being rude, and I feel like he didn't really help him, and like he probably wasn't happy either, the son or the father. And the second one, I feel like didn't really care as much, so I don't think either was.
I agree with Conjo because the first father was pushing his son to the max, and I think he might have had depression. And the second father was kind of like didn't care and like wasn't really paying attention to what he did.
I think both fathers were showing compassion because the first father who was pushing him, he wanted the son to be good, so he was showing like a long-term compassionate because he was trying to push his son so he could become a great person. And the other father, he was showing a short-term compassion because he wanted his son to feel good and feel relaxed for the time that he was, but the second son probably wouldn't become as good of a martial artist as the first son.
I think the second father is shows compassion because the first one whenever parents are strict or any of a guardian, it usually gives the kids anxiety, and the second father let the kid choose his own path a little bit.
I think it's the first father because he was showing tough love and he wanted to his son to be like the best martial artist.
I think no matter what your parent does to you, it's always for your own good. So
Does the audience have any questions? Kawa, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Do you agree with either one of these tables?
I agree with what Lyndon said, because like he said that both parents try to show compassion in their own ways. The first parent was like trying to push his son's dreams, trying to make it possible. Second dad tried to be more lenient, but like he basically like kind of crushed his own son's dreams by like not letting him train or like actually like try.
Ligzen, can I hear your thoughts? What do you think?
Oh, I kind of agree that I agree that none of the fathers were really showing compassion because the first one made the kid work too hard, and then the second dad made the kid like not work at all and let him slack off.
Do either tables have any questions for the other table? Okay. Going back to compassion and interdependence. Okay. Do you think both things, compassion and interdependence, are both, the same amount of kitchen important? Do you think they're both like the same level? Or do you think there's different levels? Okay, who wants to go first? Oh, Sungsun, yeah.
I think they're same level important because we are social creatures, as I said before, and like without interdependence, we wouldn't have anyone to help us because like all the farmers bring us food. So without those farmers, we would have to farm for our own food, and I'm sure lots of us aren't experienced with that much. So we would have a hard time surviving. And compassion is also just as important because we would fall apart without compassion because people like need to be compassionate to each other and give people stuff that they need.
I think it's equal too because interdependence can be like a need, and compassion could be a need for like the people who like need stuff.
I think compassion is better than interdependence because no one expects anything in return, and that's nice generosity. Interdependence, you don't get to know who's helping you most of the time, and if interdependence falls apart, because we're all iPad kids, we're gonna all die. Because we only know how to go grocery shopping. If we try hunting a pig or something, we're gonna pull out our iPhone.
We're almost ending, so we'd like to hear from this table the same question. Same question. Yeah.
I agree with Glenn because we don't know who we're relying on most of the time, and we need compassion more in the world because the world is not very good right now.
I think compassion is a little more important, but you should have a little bit of interdependence, but you shouldn't have too much because you might be a little unhappy in life, not getting what you want.
I agree with Kando, but also both compassion and interdependence are both really important things that humans do like every day in their life.
Okay, I want to hear from Dase. Let's go. What do you think about their answers from the question I just asked? Compassion and interdependence.
I sort of agree because compassion and interdependence are both really important because interdependence helps you out. Like if you're in need, someone would help you out and when they're in need, you would help them out. And having interdependence and a strong interdependent relationship is really important to surviving because if something wrong happens to you and nobody's there to help you, nothing's really gonna happen because you're just gonna be all alone because nobody's gonna try to help you. But then compassion is the sort of thing where you don't mind if nobody helps you back. And they're both super duper important because you can't expect anything because that's just not how compassion works and it's not right.
Okay, I want to hear from the guy. Yes, some?
I think that I agree with both sides that compassion and interdependence are important because they go hand in hand with each other, and without one you can't really have the other. And I agree with someone, I don't know who said it over here, but someone said that you have to respect both virtues equally because without them, you have to understand that if you don't have those two, you probably wouldn't be able to survive.
And that will bring us to the end of this discussion. I really liked both tables, and I think both of them and I think we're good. And please, if you have your papers, make sure to give them to Densang, and then we'll count up to points, and we'll let you know who won.
I really liked both sides, but I prefer Songsen. I really like that the two fathers part that you guys did, the short-term compassion and the long-term compassion, very descriptive, and I really like that. And the other side,
Good job.
yeah,
They were all really good though.
Yeah!
That guy was
Mike.
Okay. Nyachi, you got 300.
What?
Okay. And Songsen, you got 309.
me.